Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our second explanation video for our fun math camp. I'm Hubert, and today we're just going to look at two questions about making the comparisons and find out the different one. And we are trying to use the least amount of times to weigh to find out the answer. And here, these two questions provide two important ideas. The first one is that we should divide them, divide a very large group into some small groups so that we can just narrow the possible range. In the beginning, we are searching from the 12. We are searching from a group of 12, and now we are going to search from a group of 6, and it will make it easier for us to find out which one is different. And then for second one, so for the same groups here, we should find out some difference among the groups. And with the difference of group, we can just combine the group with the answer we want. So we will look at these questions and let's see what will be the possible answer. So for the first question, we have 12 pieces of wood on the table. And for this 12 pieces of wood, they look exactly the same, but one of them have a different weight. And we only have one balance scale if we want to find out, if we are going to find out which one is different. It's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult here because, uh, because if we are unlucky, can you guess how many times will we need for finding out? We need 11 times. We need 11 times because we just put two pieces of wood we just pick two pieces of wood, one on the left side and one on the right side, and let's see which is lighter. So if we are unlucky, maybe we cannot find the answer until the last time. So here, we should just use the method we mentioned in the beginning. We should divide the large group into some smaller groups. For example, for this 12 pieces here, we can just divide into two groups. One group has 6 wood, another group also has 6 wood, and let's see. We put them together, they must be one is lighter and one is heavier because there is one different one hidden inside of them. And we find out, if we assume here, this time the one on the right will have our answer, will have a different one. So it will be lighter and it's just in a higher position. So now we only need to find out, we only need to search within the 6 of them. So for these 6 pieces of wood, we still divide them into the same groups and we find the group on the right is lighter. So it means the different one must be hidden in these 3. So we just look at the 3 pieces of wood. 3 pieces of wood, and which one is a special one? The special one here is just saying that we still need to divide into groups, but what kind of group? Into 2 groups or 3 groups? Into 2 groups, it will means that we have a group of 2 and group of 1. For the group of 2 and group of 1, how can we make the comparisons? It's impossible. So actually here we should divide it into 3 groups. And how can we weigh it? Because for the balance, it only have 2 sides. Don't worry, we can just randomly pick 2 of them from it. So if these 2 are not balanced, one is lighter and one is heavier, and the lighter one here, it must be the thing we want. And in another situation, if these 2 just balance, one on the right and one on the left, they are totally same, where will be the different one? The different one will just become the third remaining one here. For the third remaining ones, it must be different from the others because we only have one different, which means if these 2 are balanced here, these 2, they will not be the different ones, and the remaining one here will be different. So we can find out, we just narrow the range from 12 to 6 from 3, and until we find the last one, we only need 3 steps. So this is for the first question. And for the first question, If you can just drawing some graphs, it helps a lot. And then for the second question, I highly recommend that you should not try it when you're hungry because this time we will have some very tasty and smells good buns here. Do you like eat buns? And this kind of food is my favorite. Although I'm not people who live in the north place in China, but the buns are always my favorite things. So here, the master and apprentice, they are making steam bombs together. And for each bomb, they have a requirement. They have to require to be the same weight. But one day, the master and apprentice just made a total of 5 steamers of bomb. The master made 4, and the apprentice made 1. But due to the apprentice's carelessness and misunderstanding of the master's requirements, his bombs were just 10 grams less than his master's. So the master is very hungry. For this kind of bombs, you cannot say sell it to the you cannot sell it to your master. It's not okay. So he requires the apprentice to find which steamer is made by him within 1 time's weighing. So how can we do this? For these 5 steamers, they look totally same. So how can we find out difference among them? Now we find out that they look exactly the same. So we should create the difference within it. For these steamers, they have 10 bombs each. What about we pick different amount of bombs from it? For example, for the first bomb, we take 1 from it. For the second bomb, we take 2 from it. For the third bomb, we take 3 from it. And for the fourth bomb, take 4. For the fifth one, we take 5 from it. And then there are 15 bombs. For these 15 bombs, we just weigh them at the same time. Why should we do that? Do you still remember, for each bomb made by the apprentice, it was 10 grams less. So we can just compare this 15 bombs weight with the requirement weight, and we can find a difference. It must become a multiple of 10. So if the difference here is 50, what does it mean? We have 50 grams less. And for each bomb made by the apprentice, it will have 10 grams less. So how many bombs are there made by the apprentice among these 15 bombs? It will be 5. And which steamer will be the apprentice steamer? It will be the last one. So that we can find out that, if the difference is just 10 grams, means among these 15 bombs, only 1 bomb is made by the apprentice. So the first steamer will be made by the apprentice. And then we can find out that we just use the important thing, the amount of bombs we weighed. We use this thing as a bridge to connect 2 things. What are these 2 things? One is just the steamers. We use the amount of bombs to make sure each steamer are different. And then we just check how many grams less. If we know how many grams less, we can know among all the 15 bombs, how many bombs are made by the apprentice. And then we can just check. We collect these bombs from which steamer, and then we can just find out the apprentice steamer. So this is how we find it. So when we find the steamer is not okay, we just look inside. There are bombs inside here. We can just create something inside of him, and we can find the answer. So this is our second explanation video. Thank you for your participation and hard working. Tomorrow morning we will upload a different one. We will upload a third practice. So looking forward to your participation and good and better work. So thank you here, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. If you have any question, feel free to contact me. Thank you so much.